Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Kane, and I'm the Marketing Manager for Wonderware NorCal. Thank you for attending our webinar today, Wonderware Online, Information Management Made Easy. After the webinar this morning, we will be doing a short Q&A. Please type any questions or comments into the Q&A box, the chat box, or email us at webinar@norcal.wonderware.com. Now I'd like to introduce your presenters for today's webinar. Your first presenter will be Wonderware NorCal's Product Specialist, Mike Lapitan, and your second presenter will be Sadi Kermani, the Product Manager for Cloud Solutions and Mobile Apps at Schneider Electric. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mike. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our Friday webinar, Wonderware Online. This is the first webinar we've done on Wonderware Online, so we're really excited. We've got a lot of exciting things to talk about here. So I'm going to do a brief introduction on Wonderware NorCal, then I'm going to hand it over to Sadi Kermani, who's the Product Manager for Wonderware Cloud Solutions, as Kelly mentioned, and he's going to talk about what is Wonderware Online, who's it for, what are the benefits. He'll do some demo and talk about security, and at the end he'll tell you how you can actually do your own demo today after the webinar and share that with other people. So make sure to stick around. A little bit of background on Wonderware. We've been around since 1987. We were the first Windows-based HMI software in the marketplace, and so Wonderware has continued its investment in focusing as a software company for industrial automation, and as a result, we remain the world's market leader in industrial automation software with a third of the world's plants and facilities using Wonderware. We've got a great reputation for being the lowest risk SCADA solution with the best preservation of investment. So if you were an original Wonderware customer dating back to the late 80s, early 90s, we can actually take your original application and migrate it up to even Windows 10 now, so that's coming actually within the next couple of weeks. We allow you to start small and grow incrementally over time. So now adding cloud solutions to your existing investments is something that is very easy to do, very cost-effective to do, and provides a lot of value right out of the box. So you can add functional capability as your business requires as you go on with Wonderware. Wonderware NorCal has been your local distributor and resource since 1992, so that means we provide local training out of our San Francisco office and on-site at your location. We offer free workshops, which are one-day events on getting started with Wonderware solutions. We have local dedicated phone technical support with factory technical support based in Southern California at Wonderware Corporate in Lake Forest, California. So we offer system consulting. We help you get started with Wonderware. We help you get the most out of your existing investment. And we have a large system integrator partner channel here in Northern California to help you with projects as well. Let me show you our website real quick. We've got a lot of good resources here, norcal.wonderware.com. We have our recorded webinars that are available, so you can take a look at all of the previous topics that we've done. Watch those at your own leisure. We have our workshop schedule here, which we have System Platform Development is our next workshop on February 17th. Make sure to get enrolled for that early. That class does fill up. And then we'll be doing a plant reporting with Dream Reports workshop on March 30th. Again, these classes do fill up, so please register early. Of course, we have training next week, Application Server, which is the class to take if you're using System Platform. It's a 4-day class coming up next week. And, of course, we have webinars, so that's the webinar we have today. And if you click on View All Webinars, this is where you can look at our recorded webinars to see previous recordings that we have. So with that said, I'd like to turn it over to Sadi, and he's going to talk about Wonderware Online.
Great, thanks, Mike. Sadi, I'm passing the presenter role over to you, so you should be able to show your screen.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay.
There we go. We can see your screen now.
All right, perfect. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for taking some time out today to attend this informational webinar. Like Kelly and Mike mentioned, my name is Sadi from Wonderware, and I'm really excited to talk to you about some of our most newest solutions, and that is called Wonderware Online, and that's also inclusive of another product that we have called Wonderware Smart Glance, which is bundled with this offering. So let me just get right to the point about what Wonderware Online is. If you are familiar with the Wonderware product set, including InTouch, the world market-leading HMI, and of course system platform, the de facto industrial system platform or industrial platform for manufacturers, part of that also includes the Wonderware Historian. And so the Wonderware Historian has long been a staple product of our product set, allowing customers to digitally collect, store, and retrieve information about all of their planned KPIs, and assets, and so on. However, what we've done with that product is taken it and then evolved it into an alternative offered solution, which is a managed service. So it is a hosted service that we can manage, monitor, and maintain for you on your behalf. And that means that you get access to a Wonderware Historian or enterprise-grade historian for relatively low cost. It is a subscription service that you pay for on an annual basis, and you don't have to worry about any kind of setup or infrastructure and or IT investment or skill set, because we maintain and manage all of that sort of on your behalf. Also, with the evolution of this product into a hosted or managed service, we also developed some newer clients that go along with that. And so I'd like to show you in the next couple of slides what those clients look like, and they will allow you to very quickly get access to this data that we are hosting for you on your behalf, and then allow you to visualize that very quickly on really any device or form factor of your choice. So just showing you here on the next slide, this is what it looks like from our web browser-based experience. And this is available to you through the website online.wonderware.com. And I will be showing you exactly how you can access some free demo data that you can use to interact with the system and see and experience it for yourself. In addition to a browser-based experience that you can access from any desktop PC or laptop, we also complement that with mobile and wearable clients as well. And all of this is included at no additional cost when you subscribe or purchase the Wonderware Online service. And so we have here on the left-hand side the example of the iPhone app. The iPhone app is actually a standalone offering that we call Wonderware Smart Glance, and that, again, is bundled for free as part of the Wonderware Online offering. That's available also as a free download from any app store, whether you're using iPhone, iPad, Google Android, or even Windows devices. Just look for the Smart Glance application, and you can download that and also experience a demo mode there as well. Continuing on, let me just kind of show you in the most simplistic scenario where Wonderware Online can be very helpful. So for any of you that are using InTouch as an example and don't yet have a historian or system platform, then I just wanted to highlight to you that maybe now is the time to sort of revisit what the effort would take to get the benefits of a historian and start to digitally capture, like I said at the beginning of this call, all of your process information so that you can understand, are we doing better today as compared to yesterday? And when you are able to track your production KPIs or your asset performance or quality metrics, or even start to collect data on assets that might be geographically distributed, you can start to then analyze over time where there are opportunities for improvement and areas for some revenue capture. And so in this most simplistic scenario, if the only level of automation you have or infrastructure you have is just InTouch, you can quickly add the capability of a historian through this hosted managed service provided by Wonderware simply by installing a very small little publisher that we make available to you that essentially captures the data automatically from your InTouch application and then publishes that to the Wonderware Online service. And then as I just shown you, using either your desktop experience or through a browser or mobile devices, you can then easily visualize, analyze, and then take some decisions following that on any device or form factor. for those of you that have a little bit more mature level of automation or infrastructure within your plants, perhaps you are a system platform user and you already have a historian, there are still opportunities for you to consider with adopting a secondary historian for the purposes of reporting and making information available to a set of users that traditionally have had some challenges in trying to unlock the data that has been in your primary historian or multiple historians in different regions, but had the sort of tension of how to maintain proper accessibility and security, since all of that is usually deployed on a process control network. And so Wonderware Online enables access still in a very secure way, access to that information without ever compromising the security locally on your network. And so Wonderware Online is, or rather can be, beyond just that simplistic example as a aggregation of data from InTouch to really also being a secondary historian with our Tier 1 to Tier 2 replication capabilities. So you can consider that the Tier 1 historian existing on your plant floor can be your main operational tactical historian, and then replicate summary data or detailed data to this kind of enterprise or centralized or reporting historian where other people can get access to this information. And if you have any situations where you would like to push custom data into our Wonderware Online service, for example, Internet of Things and so on, you can easily use our software development kit to customize information that you would like to push into our historian, and all of that information becomes instantly accessible to you, again, in a secure fashion through multiple devices and form factors. One way of kind of summarizing what I've just said is this tagline of any-to-any and many-to-many. So I'll just take a moment to explain what I mean by that. So on the any-to-any front, we're trying to say that you can take data from a multitude of data sources and then make them available on multiple devices and form factors. Many-to-many refers to many types of data, whether it's real-time data coming from InTouch, historical data from our historians, and or customized data to the SDK, and then view that on many devices and form factors. And you can also consume that information in many ways as well. So in a moment, I'll show you in the demo some of the screenshots of the actual application, and I will emphasize how you can basically get the data from our system in a variety of ways. So let's talk about in more detail who can really benefit from Wonderware Online. And the key message here to remember overall is really everyone. And the reason I say everyone is because for everyone that works within your facility or on your team, everyone has a job to do. And everyone has that job and they have sort of this pressure to do it faster and to do it with less resources and to do it necessarily on the move, not necessarily behind a desk anymore. And so Wonderware Online, by having this sort of centralized hosted infrastructure, is able to free your resources to get access to that information and analyze things that are relevant to them just from the convenience of any web-enabled browser or mobile device. So some specific examples are, production teams that are looking to understand from the company's target KPIs and their alignment to whatever product targets that you have around performance and quality, instantly be able to get access to that kind of information. Line supervisors may also want to manage asset performance and make sure that the production lines are running to their optimum efficiency. And you can also use the historian for basic analysis of tracking downtime, asset performance, and again, making sure that the product is being developed in spec. And all of this can be done kind of in a real-time context. Field engineers are another great example. A lot of the times, putting infrastructure in place is challenging when your assets are distributed over a wide geographical area. And so if you work especially in power or oil and gas, or if you have a wind farm or solar farm, or if you work in water and wastewater, for example, it's really nice to be able to have sort of high-end, very secure, robust, reliable access and infrastructure available to you without having to take on the burden of managing and monitoring and maintaining all of that yourself. And so it's very easy to collect information from a variety of assets, have all of those assets communicate to a central location, and then be able to access that at any time. Another group that can benefit are maintenance engineers. So maintenance engineers can quickly manage work order statuses, take a look at the maintenance schedule of a particular asset, take a look at the runtime, wear and tear, or any other sort of long-term performance metrics associated to assets. Just moving on to the next slide here. Business analysts is another group of people that often want to data mine the building of intelligence that is contained in the historian. But again, coming back to sometimes those security challenges of having to be physically at the plant, having to be connected to a VPN type connection in the past, or having to have certain privileges on the process control network that are not really appropriate for somebody who really just wants to do some kind of deep root cause analysis or data mining on the data that's being generated from that source. So now you can redirect those information needs and reporting needs for those business analysts that are outside of the process control network to Wonderware Online. And all of the analysts can then source that information securely, and you have successfully separated the secure storage of that information from the secure access to that information. As a complement to the business analysts, you also have management teams. A lot of the times, management has been somewhat precluded from having direct access to kind of the information that is being generated on the plant floor, and they're often dependent with some time lag on getting summary data from the supervisors or other mid-level management. And sometimes employees use other applications, such as our InTouch application, to try to create an InTouch window specifically for reporting or management groups. And that's not really what InTouch was designed for. InTouch really excels at the HMI SCADA operational level for running the plant, but it is sometimes challenging to use those tools for an entirely different purpose than what it was created for. And so now you can just capture directly the raw data and serve that as a feed directly to the mobile devices of your management staff, and again, or from any internet-enabled browser, so very quickly you can get access to that information and not be a bottleneck in communicating that to upper management. One last particular group that I just want to highlight here are trusted supply chain partners or OEM vendors. And I'll say this actually from two angles. One angle is if you are an OEM provider, historically, you provide a piece of equipment with perhaps InTouch embedded and associated to that piece of equipment, but then it's very difficult to know what is the performance of that piece of equipment once it's installed at the customer's location. Wouldn't it be great if you could remotely monitor that asset and its performance in the context of the customers who buy them, and then strengthen your relationship with your customers by offering an additional service to remotely monitor those pieces of equipment and have an active conversation about how that piece of equipment is performing over time. From a customer standpoint, if you are a consumer of multiple types of machinery or assets from multiple vendors, encourage them to look at taking advantage of Wonderware Online, either by becoming a secure subscriber that you get to decide to some reports that contain information about their pieces of equipment, and you can be selective, in fact, about which pieces of information they get to see, so that they can be held accountable for the performance of those same pieces of equipment within your facility. And you can also use it to drive some active conversations to make adjustments along the way as things change over time. So just to kind of recap, no matter what industry that you are in, having the ability to get access very conveniently in a way that is secure and trusted and reliable and robust, even across a local area network or a wide area network, whether it's in one region or several regions, it's critical to be able to get information that is relevant in a way that is accessible and that is a way that facilitates taking action by being on the same page with everyone else. So there's also that kind of uniformity of access of information across teams. And there's always an opportunity for somebody to be empowered to get the right information at the right time on any device. So just as a kind of what is the conclusion of being able to take advantage of these different opportunities? ultimately getting access to the information about your business, whatever your industry or whatever your role is in the manufacturing or automation or heavy process world, it ultimately helps you understand how you are doing or how you or your production teams or your pieces of equipment are performing at any given point in time. That helps you ensure that the products that you are delivering and the level of service that you're providing your end customers are always at or above your standards. And it helps you understand what is going on literally at this very moment. And it also helps you understand how you got into the situation that you may be in and then actively influence the outcome so that you can change it for the better almost instantly without having to wait for perhaps what was the traditional method of getting reports much after the fact. And coming back to this theme of sort of real-time and work streams, now workers may be having multiple hats and they may have to be doing multiple activities and play different roles. So work has changed from being sort of a discrete set of transactions that were very predefined to now being sort of a work stream where there are constantly things going on in parallel. And so it has to be easier to jump from one context to another, but still be able to manage all of that information from a central location in a way that is simple to consume and understand. And when you make certain information available that was previously perhaps there but not so accessible, then you start to expose to the right people, like perhaps the business analysts or the shift supervisors or the maintenance or field engineers. Suddenly you give them the power to discover the larger picture of opportunities for improvement, whether that's a cost reduction, whether that's a better quality product, whether that's an increase in performance. But the point is you can start to allow this kind of analysis of information to the right people so that they can optimize your business. Okay? And then the last bullet point here is just sort of reinforcing the accessibility of information tremendously makes a difference. And it suddenly empowers everyone to be able to do their job a lot faster and a lot quicker. Coming back to stranded assets, so sometimes depending on the industry that you're working in, you may have had assets that are actually geographically distributed, not very accessible. They don't have the benefit of any kind of infrastructure, particularly in oil and gas as an example. So now with just a small device, you can enable those assets to start communicating information about their state, their status, their performance. And now you don't have to have personnel to physically go out and perhaps drive or travel to different assets to do a check or rounds on them, or at least as much as you would have to, because now you can remotely monitor and collect that information and have analysis all done from one location. And again, just emphasizing that what we're trying to do as a company is provide a level of infrastructure that has sort of best-in-class standards where we focus on this every single day with teams of people and a 24/7 operations center so that you don't have to worry about the logistics that goes behind those things and also have to deal with the burden of staying on top and continuously evolving with the changing conditions of those attributes. Okay. Let me just show you now a little bit what this browser client looks like through a PC browser or laptop. This is the website from online.wonderware.com. And so here, just let me walk you through some of the basic elements of the screen. What we have, and I'll use my mouse for emphasis, what we have here in the top left-hand corner is an intelligent search screen. So from here, you can start to search for tags or any attribute of that tag or data sources, and we will instantly help you to discover, explore data that you might be looking for. So in fact, it looks very similar in terms of the experience to any kind of web browser search. We try to be anticipatory of what it is you're looking for and help you discover those things. So that means the skill set needed to take benefit from this kind of tool is now less, because you don't have to be a specialized person to sort of discover the right information. On the left-hand side, we have an automatic categorization of tags grouped by their unit of measure. So that makes things easy to look for groups of tags that are similar in nature. And we can then drag those tags over into the charting or plotting area, where we have on the right-hand side a series of a variety of charts that allow you to visualize your data in many different ways. So we have bar charts and trend lines, and we have state charts and scatter plots. So we have a variety of ways that you can slice and dice the data. This particular view that I'm showing you here is called the status board. This status board is designed to be a very nice summary of some tags that you may be interested to plot from your historian and then instantly see what their value is, along with some context with a trend, a little Excel-inspired spark line on the right-hand side. Then we also apply some advanced algorithms and analytics to give you an idea if that trend is trending downwards or upwards automatically. Let me show you another perspective. This is another example where we have a kind of a bar chart showing the different values, in this case a live weather feed for different cities across the United States. And just to highlight the ability to quickly manage and organize information, we are showing you down here this use of extended tag properties, or also known as hashtags. And so these hashtags, which are configurable and something that you can set, allows you to logically group data by any dimension that makes sense to you. So you can group various assets together. You can group a production zone together. You can group, from a security standpoint, groups of tags or assets that you may want to share to a particular group or select personnel. Here's another example, coming back to one of the previous slides about not only can you interact with the data through this sort of browser-based client experience, but if you do want to further expose or share or download this data, you can do that through a variety of options. That comes back to my sort of many-to-many expression. So let me just blow that up. So you have the ability to take a particular set, a pre-configured set of tags that you have taken the trouble to put together on a dashboard, and then you can share that. You can share that with a simple URL that you can paste by email or send by instant messenger to either someone in your company or just send it to a preferred partner that you're working with. And you can control the security of that so that it's only visible by yourself, visible to other people within your organization, or to people outside of your organization. So that's entirely controllable by you. If you prefer, and if you have as a perhaps larger customer an existing portal, and if you're asking yourself, how do I integrate elements of this into that existing portal, like a SharePoint portal, then we do have mechanisms through this embed feature where you can copy just a section of the visual content that you see in this browser-based display and selectively put those elements into your own custom portal. So this allows you to take some of the visualization and capabilities of the browser-based client and directly embed that into whatever custom portal that you may already have. Conversely, you may want to export some of the data simply by downloading a CSV file of the data that you're looking at and then continue to do some analysis outside of the solution in Excel or Microsoft Power BI as an example. Another thing you can do is when you are looking at the data and you're done your kind of analysis at the moment, you may want to say to yourself that I'd like to convert this into a recurring report, something that I can monitor over time. And I also would like to see that on my mobile device. So you can do that by instantly sharing that configured data set with your mobile device to the app that comes along with the solution. And the name of that app, again, is called Wonderware Smart Glance. Finally, you can save the dashboard for your own personal viewing at a later time. Here's another angle that I just want to present or talk to you about. A lot of the times we use browser-based displays on large TV sets in order to give quick and instant visibility to a large group of people. So Wonderware Online and the browser client is perfect for that kind of scenario. You can put a browser in a kind of full screen kiosk mode. And so from at a distance, it's very easy to see how production trends are behaving, or your product quality is improving, or your production output is increasing. But if you ever want to look down into the details of those trend lines and their respective tag values, you can simply mouse over the plot area and we will provide you with this scooter that will highlight to you the explicit values and their corresponding unit of measure with a date timestamp. We also make it easy to explore data. So here you have on the left and right-hand side these kind of chevron symbols, which allow you to quickly just pan across different time periods that will allow you to explore and discover different patterns or outliers within your data set without having to lose sight or focus on what you're trying to analyze. Also, I'll point out to you in the top right corner, we have a different view that you can go into to optionally, after the fact, after you've done your search, you can optionally remove or add tags to the trend. So if you look on the right-hand side, we have a list of tags here. So I can just simply select which ones to include in the chart or remove from the chart. And then also, if you look at the center of the screen, we have this nice horizontal line, which we call the limit line. So the limit line, coming back to this idea of making it very easy to visualize your trends, and then to visualize on top of that some kind of specification limit or alert limit or some kind of limit line for some acceptable criteria, you can just overlay that onto your trends, and then it just quickly visually reinforces whether or not that trend is within the acceptable range that you specify. Let me spend a few moments talking about the mobile app aspect of this experience. So like I mentioned, Wonderware Online is a complete solution which offers both desktop and browser-based and also mobile-based clients. So this is an example of the mobile-based client coming from the Wonderware Smart Glance application, which is included in the online offering. And so this is the iPhone app, and here when you log in, you see the exact same data that you saw in the Wonderware Online browser experience. What you notice on this sort of landing page of the mobile app is we have a list of reports that you have been securely subscribed to as determined by either yourself as an authorized user or on your behalf by the administrator of the solution at your company. And you also have, just by the very nature of you clicking around on reports that are significant and that matter to you, we will automatically curate those recent reports into its own group right at the top, so the things that matter to you are the most quickly accessible. Regardless, if there's ever a report that you would like to find, you can always type into the search box, and we use the same intelligent search capabilities to instantly discover reports that you may be looking for and make recommendations for you to help you get to the right information quickly. Once you're looking into the details of a particular report, we present the information in a kind of a summary screen. So once again, notice the similarities. There's that consistent perspective, if you will, across the different tool sets. So here we have a list of tags, just like you saw in the browser client, as well as what the latest values are. So reinforcing one of the earlier points I made, you can instantly understand the status of something, the status of your production KPIs, pieces of equipment, your teams, your goals, and then a little Excel-inspired Spark line, just like in Wonderware Online browser client. And optionally, if you just do a long press or you just press and hold on a particular tag name, you can initiate the creation of an alert, or you'll also notice that there's a View Info option. That View Info option allows you to expand the details behind that tag or that report and get access to some additional context where you can jump to other relevant reports or get contact information about somebody behind the data so you can give them a call, send them an email, or interact with them to take action or do some follow-up. Going through another significant feature here, you can now plot graphically directly from your handheld device up to 6 tags for analysis. And very similar to the browser client one more time, you can optionally add or remove tags from this kind of chart selection of tags so that you can quickly highlight or select or deselect tags for some quick comparison and analysis. So the mobile app gives you a perfect opportunity to do some lightweight analysis after becoming aware of what the status is, and then follow that by taking some action. If you need to do some more root cause analysis and some deeper investigation, then you can easily move to the browser-based client, and the access to information will be all the same, and you'll have that continuity of experience. Here's an example of an alert notification that I got. It's just a push notification on my phone, as you're used to getting in different contexts, initiated from the Wonderware Online service based on a threshold that I was able to create. So that's another nice aspect of the product is you yourself as a user can create your own personalized alerts for thresholds and tags that matter to you. You don't have to depend on a manager or create a ticket or escalate to IT. That is something you can manage. And then we also try to make it very easy for you to get visibility into all the alerts that you may have across multiple reports. I'm just going to wrap up the presentation with a couple of notes on cybersecurity. So in the beginning of the presentation, I made a lot of emphasis on the reliability or robustness of the solution, and also the benefit of having somebody take ownership of managing and monitoring that on a continual 24/7 basis. So in addition to that, we also take on the responsibilities of cybersecurity. And everything that we do in this solution is done in an absolutely secure manner. For example, all the data transmission and storage is securely encrypted, so no one can get access to that or interpret the data, and all of your intellectual property is well protected. All of the data that flows from the either InTouch as a data source, HMI, on your network, and or the Wonderware Historian Tier 1 offering on your network, it's all outbound from your network. So there is no interactions directly with the data source, being InTouch or the Tier 1 Historian. In this case, all of the data flows from those sources of data on your network securely out of your network, encrypted and secured on a single port, port 443 for those of you who are technical, and arrives at the Wonderware Secure Cloud solution, and there is never any kind of bidirectional data back into your network. And again, we hold ourselves to very high standards, whatever is the best available in the market, to make sure that we have experts, auditors, third-party assessments that we're compliant with several industry-leading protocols, specifications, standards, and we're more than happy to go into an in-depth conversation about specifically what we're doing if it's interesting to you. Behind the scenes, although it's not something that you have to worry about directly, when you buy Wonderware Online, you get the whole solution as a package. But just to let you know and to give us a little bit of credibility, we are actually running physically in the Microsoft Azure data centers all over the world and benefit from a lot of the billions of dollars of investment that Microsoft is making on an annual basis to making sure that their data centers are robust and secure as well. Here is just a quick overview pictorially of all the certifications and standards and compliances that Microsoft has achieved with their data centers. Microsoft has over 20 data centers in the world, and each data center sometimes can achieve up to 24 certifications in data security, privacy, and data integrity. Finally, just a quick note to the fact that as a large company within this space with deep-rooted history, we are able to combine the best of all of the advances in technology that is going on in the market today with our domain expertise that we've been able to acquire in the last several years. In fact, Schneider Electric itself has been around for over 175 years, and the Wonderware product brand name has been in existence for over 30 years. So we are very familiar with a lot of the specific industrial control system requirements and particularities that are appropriate for all of you folks. So kind of in conclusion, I hope you found this very informational. I hope you were able to understand the benefits of, first and foremost, if it's not the case for you, having a historian to digitally collect and capture information related to your process so you can begin the analysis of how to optimize and improve your own production capabilities and your own asset performance to be the best that you can be, and to specialize in what it is that you do. And at the same time, if you have a historian, hopefully you've been exposed to opportunities to incrementally improve your situation by expanding or unlocking that sort of base of intelligence or information that you may already have but may not be optimizing, by complementing that with our Tier 2 hosted solution, and then bringing the culture of mobile devices and rapid continuous improvements and hosted remote infrastructure to your company at an affordable and attractive price. I'll just point out that if you've had the chance to visit our website at online.wonderware.com, I'm just pointing out to you that at any time you can follow some of the examples that I had just shown you by clicking on the Try It Now button. And I also encourage you to sign up and register for free to get started for a limited trial, and then we can follow up with you to see what your particular needs are. And at any time, if you have any questions, you can engage us directly through a live chat feature that we have. And if you haven't already, please visit any one of your app stores for the mobile device that you have and download the SmartGlance application, and as it's shown here, for iOS devices, Android, and Windows devices. Although I didn't really talk about it in this session, the ability to capture data from a SQL Server database and make that available on your mobile device is also something available as part of the SmartGlance solution, which again is bundled with Wonderware Online, or can be purchased separately. And in order to make that possible, we have a small utility called the Mobile Reporting Connector, which is also a free download and free to sign up and get started for a limited trial at our website at software.schneiderelectric.com. Thank you very much for your time today, and I deeply appreciate your attention, and we're here to help you if you have any additional questions. Back to you, Kelly.
Great, thanks, Sadi. We do have it's Q&A time, so if you do have any questions, feel free to type them into the Q&A box, or you can type them into the chat box that you should see on your screen. We do have a few questions that have come in. The first one, Sadi, is how long is data stored on Wonderware Online?
All right, thank you for that question. Yeah, so we store that data for 7 years, and then you have the option of getting that data back. In fact, you have the option of asking for any data that you store with us to be made available to you. It's really, we consider it to be your data. You can have that available to be downloaded at any time. If through the other standard features of the product, you would like some more or more specific data, you can get it through there. So about 7 years.
Okay. And one other one, what are the future plans for Wonderware Online?
So this is a very good question, and I think if you'll take inspiration from the way we called this solution, we tried to make it as simple as possible to understand what our ambition is. We started off with Wonderware as a company in the 1980s and grew it into the sort of world-class software provider from the industrial world over the last 30 years. And so what's the next evolution? And a lot of the times I have these conversations with customers about their evolution from Windows PCs to this Windows Server family to the industrial system platform, and then sort of growing up into, okay, now there's cloud solutions. So we expect to be doing more and more of making Wonderware products and solutions available as an alternative, as an option, as a software as a service offering. So I think you'll just have to wait and see, but we have some exciting things in the pipeline for you.
Okay, great. And it looks like those are the only questions that have come in, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So thank you, Sadi, and thank you, Mike, for your time today. And if anyone would like to review any portion of this webinar, a recording will be available on our website, norcal.wonderware.com, early this afternoon. And again, you can find out more information about future training on our website. So thank you, everyone, for attending, and have a great weekend. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.